Greetings, planty people. Welcome back to my jungle. So today's video is all about some new plants that I got because I haven't been buying plants recently, been on a bit of a low buy, and just a few of my favourites really, just some little updates and stuff, just a big cocktail of planty things. I hope you're all doing fabulous and I hope your plants are all doing fabulous too. Let's get into the video. The reason why I've been on a bit of a low buy is mainly because, you know, I've got a lot of plants that I like and I'm running out of room, which is a very common theme with houseplant people. So I'm very particular of what plants I'm going to get. Do you know what I mean? I rearranged the background last night to kind of, you know, make it look good and try and have some gaps. So I've got a gap here that we'll see what I get to fill that gap. But yes, so I'm going to show you some new plants I acquired yesterday. I'll start with the quirky one first. Now, I can't remember the name of this one. It just says adorable mixed. Make it make sense. What was it called? I'll pop it on the screen because I literally just googled it and I've already forgotten. So this is a gorgeous kind of trailing almost plant, and this is the variegated version. It cost me $8.99. And I thought, you know what, I've never seen this plant before, so I'll give it a go. I did no research on it. I just kind of bought it on a whim. But Google says it likes a lot of high humidity, so maybe I could put it in some of my terrariums. But for now, I just kind of topped up the soil with some moss in there to keep it, you know, moist. And at the moment, I just hang it with my peperomia and see what happens. So if you've got any tips and tricks with this one, please let me know because I literally have no idea. It's such a gorgeous plant. Like, look at that variegation. It looks a bit mottled. Is that the word I'm looking for? I think so. This might be a bit of a gateway plant. I might end up just getting millions of these because it's such a unique shape. Can you see under there? It's got these thick stems and it just kind of trails down a bit like, you know, like a Tradescantia nanook where it trails but it's thick, so it kind of pokes out a bit first. That's the vibe I'm getting. Beautiful. So if you've got any advice on this one, please let me know because I went in blind with this one. Sometimes that's the best way to do it, sometimes it's not. So yeah, drop comments down below if you've got any tips or anything. I know it likes bright indirect light, but yeah, let me know. Another one you may actually see in the background if you've got a keen eye. Let me go grab her. Da, 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 da. Isn't that the most majestic? Oh, look at it going. The most majestic Alocasia black velvet you've ever seen. Now, I don't actually have many Alocasia left. I don't typically get on with them. Oops. A lot of people don't. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take the plunge and I'll try again. And I thought I'd try again with this one because it's quite an established one. I found that buying baby ones is a little bit of a death wish with some of these plants. I do have a little baby one growing in semi-hydro over there in my prop box, but I thought, you know what, I've missed her. I've tried this one I think twice before, and now with the knowledge and research I've done, we'll see how it goes. I found with Alocasia that they do not tolerate being overwatered, so oh, that poked me in the mouth. Excuse me, missus. So I'm definitely gonna only water this one when it's absolutely begging for it. Obviously not to the point where it's not looking well, but to the point where it starts to droop a little bit. That's what I tend to do with my Philodendron, so we'll see how that goes. But that is honestly bigger than my head, and I've got a big head. If you've never felt one of these, I highly recommend you do. Just listen to the sound. It's just what it says on the tin. Black velvet, absolutely gorgeous. This is the biggest one I've seen. I managed to kind of pick out a few corms that were just on the top, so they're also in my prop box. So hopefully I'll have a little army of little Alocasia black velvet. Just look at her. Whee! So I'll keep you updated on this one, of course. A lot of people say to put them in semi-hydro, but I've tried that before and it hated it. I don't know what I did wrong. I washed all the soil off the roots. I let it soak in a little bit of water because someone told me to do that for like an hour or two, just so it's getting used to the wet of the semi-hydro. But then I used the Soil Ninja, the fine one, the semi-hydro. And I don't know, it just hated it. So we'll see how this goes. It's in a really chunky soil, luckily, because sometimes when you get them from a garden centre, the soil is dire, and that's usually why most of them die. I'm just, wow. Whee! I love you, please don't die on me. And the next plant I got from the garden centre is a bit of a rogue one. Let me show you. I know it's looking a little bit crusty because I got it from the reduced section, so is there any flowers on it yet? So this is an indoor jasmine, and I know it's a really random one for me to get. It does smell delicious, and I just thought it's something a little bit different, and it was really crusty and dusty when I bought it, so I gave it a really good trim, a really good water, and it seems to have perked up. There's a few little buds on there. I believe it's a pink one, and it's on like one of those little hoop trellis thingies, so we'll see how it goes. I've seen them grow outside and they can get pretty massive, so this might be one of those plants that I have to kind of keep an eye on. So we'll see how that goes. This is another one I went in blind. It was only £3, I think, reduced from £12.99, so worth a try. Everything else in the reduced section was just crispy ferns, and I was like, I'll leave those. They're crispy for a reason. Ferns are divas. Can't get, oh, it's beautiful. It's not even like a fully flowered one yet, and it smells delicious. Okay, should we go on to some plants that I've been especially loving recently? Of recent. You know what I mean. Da, 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 da. It's a begonia. Are you shocked? I did a begonia care video on my last video if you want to check that out, but wow. This one I'm actually surprised is still alive, because this is a Begonia rex and they are known to be very tricky. If you overwater them, they melt. If you underwater them, all the leaves drop off and it's just like a little shriveled pile of roots, and it's not great. So this one I've actually tried to Google before. This is just a Begonia rex. I found ones online similar, but not the specific cultivar of it, but it's so gorgeous. I have had it for a while now. It probably is due a repot. I might do that soon, but I'm a little bit scared because it's actually finally taking off. On camera it looks more silver, but in person it's a lot more of a blush pink colour. And on the back, look at that, look how beautiful is that? It's got these little hairs, you know the begonia hairs that they get. It's a little hairy begonia situation, but I'm in awe of her, and I would like to propagate her maybe get her a little bit bushier. But when you get the new leaves through, they get these little spots on, which is like so different to how the normal leaves look. So I love you. I need to give her a name. If you can think of a really cool quirky name for her, please let me know. So I keep this one in a really bright room. Begonia love a lot of sun, especially in the winter. Give them as much sun as you can. So and I water it whenever it feels dry. So I think I watered it 2 days ago. Yeah. Ugh. I've had to have fake nails on now because the amount of times I'm like, I've always got gross nails. So if you're a gardener or indoor gardener, definitely get yourself some press-on nails, because my nails usually look horrendous, and nail polish just doesn't last on me because I'm always doing that. That was weird, but you know what I mean. Anyway, rant over. If you know the exact kind this is, please do tell me, because Google won't tell me and it's really getting on my nerves. I really want to get the Begonia escargot. I mentioned that in my wish list video, and I really want to get, what's that one called? It's like black and velvet. Ha, common theme. Anything spooky, I'm in. And surprise, surprise, we have another begonia. So this I keep in a little cup just to keep the humidity in it, because this one can be a little bit finicky. So I got this when I went to Bristol, my love. And this is the, where are you? I always forget the name of this one because it's a really weird name. Begonia rex Dornall Mayer. Don't know what that means. And it's Welsh grown, so that's lovely. From far away, it just looks like a boring kind of green one, but up close, it has these little specks on them. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. And the new leaves come through kind of orangey, which is beautiful. Now this one hasn't done much, I'm not going to lie to you. So I went to Bristol late summer, almost autumn, so it was kind of cold. I mean, it's England, it was always kind of cold. But yeah, this one, I think I did keep it in my prop box for a bit, but it wasn't keen on that. So I've kept it under my grow lights, like my little prop station. Maybe I'll have to do a tour on that, but it is a bit gross looking because, you know, some of it is like partly a houseplant hospital. But yeah, this one gets a nice bright light, lots of humidity, and I've also put some moss in there as well. You know, keep that humidity. Oh, It is beautiful. I can't wait for this one to finally take off and get really, really big. That'll be lovely, and that is a dream. I just really like Begonia. I think they're so underrated, and I just love the pointy leaves that you get. Gorgeous, gorgeous. What shall I show you next? Oh, should we do some plant updates? Let's get going. So this is my, is it Philodendron? Brantianum? Yes, it is. I had to think then. You just saw my thought process. So a lot of people struggled with this one, including me. At the beginning, I was a bit like, oh God, it's not gonna make it. It's not gonna make it. So I repotted it into a much far chunkier soil, and I gave it this little homemade moss pole that I just made with a stick, some moss and some string. It's very fiddly and very messy. I don't recommend it, but it seems to be doing the job. So this is, I think I got 2 little babies, and it's managed to actually do something. It gave me one of those kind of half rotted leaves, and I was a bit like, But I was patient. It's under the grow light here, and look, it rewarded me with the most gorgeous, perfect silver leaf. I just love the pattern on this. It looks like it hasn't rendered properly in a game. It's just beautiful, and I'm really into silver plants at the moment. It just kind of adds a bit of depth to the normal green that you get. It's just gorgeous. I've seen pictures of people having these and they get really, really big, but they are just really prone to being really annoying. I mean, same, but I did have a smaller one ages ago that my friend Sky gave me, but it just didn't like me. So I was a bit like, I'll poo-poo it for a bit, but I managed to get a really good deal on this. This is the biggest leaf I have so far. So of course I'll keep you guys updated on this one. It is magical. It is underrated, but it is a bit annoying. So do with that information what you will. Ta-da! Has anyone actually tried to propagate this one? Because I feel like this one's going to be extremely hard to propagate. I feel like it'll just rot. So let me know your experience with this one. Another update. So this I've mentioned quite a few times a while back because I've had it for a long time now. So I got this from Botanic York in, you guessed it, York. And I was only allowed to bring 1 plant back because I had to go on a coach. So I had a lot of things. So I had this on my lap the whole time, like. So I had been trying to get into, almost said Alocasia then, Anthurium for a long time. And this was one of those ones where I kept seeing it everywhere, but not in person. Well, I'm a croaky frog today. Pardon me. And this one I got, I think it had 2 little leaves, so it's about triple the size now. I think it's 2 years old. Now, I know you're thinking, ew, Jules, what is wrong with it? Well, I'll tell you what, I've dropped it twice. And that's why the ends of these got a bit crispy, because the end fell off and you tend to get crisps on the end. So if you chop the end of a leaf, it doesn't actually help that much. You'll just get crispy tips like this. And as it's an Anthurium, it went very dormant for a while. They tend to do that. They kind of stop growing for a while and then all of a sudden, doosh, 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 leaf, leaf, leaf. And look, we have a little baby here. Now the pattern with this one, because it's still juvenile, is that each leaf gets bigger. So it was that one, and then it was that one, and then it was that one, and then this one really upsized. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this one is going to be massive. That is the goal. I do have a normal crystallinum there. So this is the silver blush and that's the normal. So hopefully they can get as big as that. Let's have a race. Let's see who gets bigger first. I mean, obviously it's going to be that one, but you never know. You don't ever know. Some plants just randomly take off and it's like, okay, fair enough. I just can't wait for this one to get really big. Should we see if it needs a repot? Oh, don't you hate when that happens? Okay, there's some lovely healthy roots on there. I'll just leave you be. And you're probably wondering, why is there a whole load of moss on the top? Well, I saw my friend Lisa, she keeps loads of moss on the top because they get some kind of chunky aerial roots there and it makes them grow quicker, so fingers crossed. And by the look of it, the new stem looks pregnant, so maybe she's in her growing era. Finally, another little update. I talk about this plant constantly because it's so different. A lot of people think it's an alocasia. It's not an alocasia because it's actually growing. So this is the Syngonium steomachii, and just look at that texture. Anytime I mention it on TikTok or here, everyone's like, I've never seen that before. And you know what? I hadn't until I saw it on eBay. I was just doom scrolling on eBay for like interesting stuff. And this one caught my eye because I'd never heard it before. Did some Googling. It's like an uncommon, you know when they market it as like a rare plant, but it's not actually rare. It's uncommon, it's harder to find, but it wasn't too expensive. I think I bought the cutting for, I think it was like £6 without postage. And it came with this massive leaf, but I chopped that off because it was, you know, you can tell it's gonna die when it gets propagating. So here we are. But look, we've got a lovely stem coming through there. And this is just an empty hair dye pot because I dye my hair orange. No, I'm not a natural orange. I just keep them and I poke little holes in the bottom. Make sure you clean it first. And look, they're great. I think it looks kind of cool actually. And you can see some healthy roots at the bottom and me pouring soil all over the floor. Fabulous. I cannot wait for this one to get absolutely massive. That's my goal. If you Google it, so it's the Syngonium stearmarkii. It's really hard to spell, at least for me. Just look at how big it can get. It's a bit like the Syngonium chiapense. I don't know why I pointed, you can't see it. I talk about that one a lot. That one is getting so big. I'm excited, but where am I gonna put it when it gets big? It's those kind of green ones that you don't see a lot, but they grow really fast, and I recommend them to everyone. Just look at that. It's just insane, and it also does the little head bob. I do see why people think it is an Alocasia, but it's not. It's one of my favourite plants of the whole year, genuinely. So if you get a chance to get one of these, do it. Just do it, treat yourself. Should we do one more favourite? This is like a favourite and a growth update. Ta-da! Look how big she's getting. This is my Philodendron, Billy, Billietiae, Billeti. I don't even bother anymore. It's Billy. Now this one I got quite a while ago now and it did nothing. Niche. It gave me the world's tiniest leaf. Can you see that? How ridiculous is that? And then all of a sudden I gave it a trellis. Yes, it is a little bit wobbly. I do need to secure that. That's the newest leaf. Look at that. Gorgeous. I just love the orangey coral stems that you get. And I've already got another leaf here and it's not even growing season, so I must be doing something right. I just love how each leaf points in a different direction. It's like, where am I? Where am I going? Gorgeous. Now, a lot of people do agree with me that this is a really slow plant, and it is. For a philodendron, it's super slow. But I feel like it's definitely worth it. Just look at that. But I still can't pronounce your name. Let me know how you pronounce it. Billete, Billietiae, Billeti. There's many, many options. I'm too dyslexic for that. You're called Billy. I also like the little dimples in it. Another one that I really want to get is the UPI because it's kind of like, it's snatched. It's got like an hourglass body shape and I just think it's beautiful. But I haven't really seen any, so if I see one, I will be getting one. Mark my words. Okay, and last but not least, is not necessarily an update, just like a what do you think's gonna happen. So I did a video on TikTok about, you know, when you get those AI generated or edited videos, not videos, photos of plants where it's clearly not real and people fall for it. Well, I did a video on a pink edited Monstera albo and I was like, well, this isn't real, duh. And someone commented, what if you just put food dye in the water and see what happens? So of course I had to try it out. I know it looks bright red, but it's just really strong hot pink. So this is the top cutting from my Monstera albo. This is its lovely root. Oh, it's actually dyeing the root pink. That's interesting. Do you think it will turn the variegation pink when the next leaf comes out? I'm 50-50 because it works with flowers, but this isn't a flower. Do you know what I mean? So it's either going to be really interesting and cool and amazing or really disappointing. So let me know what your prediction is. I will do updates on TikTok, same name as it is here. You know, let's experiment, let's have a little bit of fun. I had to chop it because it was getting too big. I've put it in here because it's a bit more stable. It's just an empty candle thing with little leaves on it. I thought it was appropriate. Right, so I think that's all the updates and stuff so far. Everything's been a bit slower because of winter. I need to install my new grow light, but it's huge and I'm not very handy with that kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. Let me know what plants you've gotten recently. Let me know how all your plants are doing. I would love to know. Let's have a little planty chat. I hope you have a lovely day, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.